Well, the presidential greatness ratings and rankings are finally in. Yes, the president and executive politics section of the American Political Science Association, which is the foremost organization of social science experts in presidential politics, as well as super smart scholars who are much more smart than you are, dummy. They published a peer-reviewed academic research in key related scholarly journals and academic presses, and 525 respondents were invited to participate. Here we have the best presidents ranked in order.
525 were asked. I think 154
usable responses were received. So, in other words, there were some that were like,
no, they used all those.
All right, so number one, Abraham Lincoln. Don't think we can argue with that. He's in the top five.
Yeah, top five.
Sure.
I think I don't know if I put him one, but
Who would you put as one?
Probably Washington.
I would too.
Me too.
But I mean, that's not a knock on Lincoln. I mean,
No. But Washington was the one that demonstrated how to use power, how to get rid of power, how to go home. You know, the 2 terms thing is all because of him. I mean, he's a reluctant president, just like Michelle Obama. Okay, so they still have number one is Lincoln. Number 2,
this is unbelievable,
is Franklin Roosevelt.
Oh, come on.
Stop it.
Completely
FDR
ridiculous.
is one of the absolute worst. He's bottom 5. Bottom 5 for sure.
Well, if you'll notice the pattern here as we go on, the pattern is the scholars seem to love those who they can't get past. You can't get past Lincoln. You can't get past Washington. You can't throw them into the dustbin or you'll look like you're complete
They want
frauds.
to. You know they
but
want to.
They want to. And so if you look at the pattern of everybody that doesn't really make sense, it's because they fundamentally changed our systems. FDR fundamentally changed. We were this close to a dictatorship. Mussolini said he's cut from our cloth. Hitler said he's cut from our cloth. He was going for this great state. So FDR. Then number 3 is Washington. Under FDR.
That's insanity.
It's madness.
By the way, FDR, huge racist. Did not invite, what's his name, the runner, Jesse Owens. Didn't invite him. Only medal winner will not invite. The biggest and most important medal of that
of all time, maybe.
Wasn't invited.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Washington, then Theodore Roosevelt, another progressive.
Come on. Jeez.
Like Theodore Roosevelt does not even belong anywhere close to the top of this list.
No.
I mean, he was, you've mentioned this a million times. Obviously, I mean, the man started the Progressive Party. Of course, they love him. But still, like,
massive eugenics.
You could say he did incredible things in his life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as a person. Like, yeah, but like,
what did he do? What did he do as president? What is he most famous for doing as president?
I mean, he really like continued what Wilson was doing, who's coming up soon in the countdown, but continued that move in a way to make progressivism the homespun.
But as a president,
philosophy,
he's responsible for the national parks. He's responsible.
Why is that seen as some big accomplishment?
Because
we fenced off a bunch of grass.
Because
remember the Ken Burns documentary? The slogan for that documentary was "America's greatest accomplishment." What are you talking about? The guy put up a bunch of fences around grass where animals can stay?
Well, there's gates, too, so that you could pay to get in.
Oh, wow.
Don't
What a
forget
thing.
that.
What a thing. I mean, how many medical innovations have we created? We've saved the world how many times? They're like, oh, gosh, when they put those park benches out there, that was really a good thing that America did. Hey, look, picnic tables.
But again, look at the two. You've got Lincoln and Washington. We understand, okay? Roosevelt and Roosevelt, They're both progressives.
Bad.
They're
Really
both
bad.
progressives. They're all
Totally.
about state power.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Then Jefferson, another one you got to go, okay, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
he wrote the Declaration of Independence.
a
I
big
think
deal.
it's kind of a big deal. Then Truman.
But again, we should also point out all these people were saying, oh, well, they got to throw them in, are also the people that I guarantee some of these historians, if you looked at their Twitter feeds, would be advocating for the tearing down of their statues.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I guarantee in 2020, go back and look at their George Floyd feeds at the time as they were encouraging Washington and
Jefferson and Lincoln.
statues to come down. And Lincoln's maybe the hardest argument to make on that one, but still.
They wanted to bring it down in Washington,
Ben
D.C.
Franklin, they wanted to bring
know,
his
I know.
statues down.
Harry Truman's a surprise, too, since he dropped the bomb on Japan.
Not only that,
blows me
but
away.
he's the guy who said yes
speak.
to Israel.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, I'm shocked at him.
That's surprised.
Then number 7, Obama.
Yeah, geez.
Come on.
That's incredible.
That's just
Up to
stupid.
9 places since last time.
Yeah.
Just stupid.
You know,
right?
you know why?
It's asinine.
Michelle Obama for president.
No, don't you?
Yeah.
Just stop trying to take my
Who's
money.
losing $1,000?
No!
Yes.
Starting to think about I just want to push. That's all I want is a push. Like we need Gavin Newsom or something to be the nominee, so I at least don't have to pay $1,000.
Then Eisenhower. Now, Eisenhower oversaw the building of the industrial military complex.
Yeah, but he bashed it at the end.
He did.
Yeah,
No,
that
he
one
said,
speech.
we just built it. You're going to have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Be afraid.
I just put this thing together for you
Yeah.
that you're going to have to deal with for the rest
Right.
of America's existence. But
Right. Okay.
look out for it because it's really powerful and bad.
So look what we have. We have Obama built giant government, Eisenhower, giant government. Then number 9,
No, this is
L.B.
incredible.
Johnson.
That might be the biggest abomination of
Oh
them
my
all.
God. Are you kidding? I didn't
Yeah.
see him at
Number
number 9.
Number 9.
A top 10 president.
He is legitimately
Maybe the
within
worst.
the conversation for the worst president of all time.
No question.
It's in the conversation. Now you might say Woodrow Wilson, and I probably am going to lean that way. But if you want to come up with, this is what I need to do. We need to do we should get all the Blaze people to come in to give us the top 5 worst presidents of all time. Because LBJ to me is on that list. If he's not number 1 worst of all time, he's in the top 2 or 3.
It's Wilson. I'm not going to rank them, except
Yeah,
Wilson
give me-
is in number 1 in all of them.
Yeah, of
but,
course.
It's Wilson, Obama, LBJ,
Biden.
Biden.
I'd put Biden in there.
might be number 1 or number 2 now.
Yeah, for sure.
It is Jackson, Andrew Jackson.
I put Carter in the conversation for that.
But Carter's
was
almost like a hapless dupe compared to these guys.
It's still
He started
really bad.
the Department of Education, so he built the great state. Look at everyone they like wanted a dictatorship. All of them. They didn't call it that, but that's what they wanted. They built this deep state. Then Kennedy is at number 10. He's up 4, which I find interesting because Kennedy is probably the only one that wouldn't be allowed in the Democratic Party now. All the ones we just mentioned, they'd still love and they'd bring him in. Kennedy, no way. Kennedy wanted to break up the military-industrial complex. Kennedy cut taxes like nobody's business. I mean, he was practically Ronald Reagan in comparison. Then James Madison comes in after Truman, Eisenhower, Obama,
LBJ?
Johnson. Oh my
Come on.
gosh! Then
Come on.
James Madison.
Okay, yeah, the guy who wrote the U.S. Constitution. Let's put him 11th.
11
Right.
behind a guy who created a bunch of programs that are completely bankrupting us.
Yes.
Right? Like we are all aware as to why we're going to soon be spending $1 trillion a year in just interest. But
Because
like
of
LBJ,
LBJ.
we're like, oh yeah, but the good thing about it, the redeeming quality, he was an incredible racist. And he was a drunk driver. Let's put him up number 9.
My gosh, number 9. Then after Madison, then comes Bill Clinton. Then comes John
Clinton.
Adams. Then
hold on, wait.
comes Biden.
So we have
14.
accused rapist followed by and Biden at 14 is look. I don't know.
So
the
outrageous.
Barack Obama thing is so expected. It didn't surprise me at all.
I mean,
right?
you do have to say there is at this point with historians there is kind of a magic around him because he was America's second black president.
Right.
And
ahead of the first black president now.
Yeah, it's weird.
But you kind of understand the recency bias thing in these things is always big, right? Like Biden being there is not all that shocking because of its recency bias. Obama, I'm expecting. And, the end of this, of course, everyone probably knows by now, is Trump in last, which is also part of the recency bias, right? Like, once the next president gets in that's a Republican, they're all going to say, oh, well, he's even worse than Trump. Like, we all know that's going to happen on these lists. But it's like, the Obama thing, okay, first black president, like, they got their Obamacare. There's things that they're going to like. What on earth argument is there for Joe Biden with a 37% approval rating to be the 14th greatest president of all time?
You're not going to.
Absurd.
The rest of the list is not going to improve your mood. By the way, we should, tomorrow I'm going to have a poll ready with all the presidents, and you just rank them. Okay, if you don't know who they are, because like Polk, I don't know. What did Polk do? I don't know.
Mexican-American War.
Okay, so he's bad.
Yeah. By the way, it's also Tuesday. This would be James K. Polk Tuesdays.
Right.
Just pointing that out for historians, please might not recognize that.
Rutherford B. Hayes. What did he do?
Yeah.
What are you all about?
Kinds of things.
You guys into Chester A. Arthur or no?
Chester A. Arthur.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that we would we'll cut the list down. Okay.
You're going to just eliminate Chester A. Arthur?
No, I'll leave them all in there, but you don't have to vote for them. Don't do what you do when you're voting for judges. I don't know.
So you're a Republican or Democrat, whatever.
Let's do best, 5 worst, right? Like that's all you really need, right? 5 best, 5 worst.
I'd like to see top 10. Top 10, bottom 10.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that.